Yes, Vermont was one of the worst affected states, and it's a state that relies heavily on tourism. For an assessment of the impact of Irene on the tourist industry there, Cath joins us live from the town of Waitsfield. What's at stake, Cath?
Yeah, Shehab, there's millions of dollars of stake in tourism dollars here. This is a state of exceptional beauty. Our cameraman Jeff is just going to show you the view from where we are. Have a look at that. The air is fresh, clean. In the foreground you can see there one of the main attractions to Vermont, which is the trees. They're just starting to turn. In probably another 2 weeks there'll be this brilliant yellow, red and orange colour. In the background you can see the mountains. They are skiing mountains. Those two factors, as well as people wanting to get married with a beautiful backdrop like this for weddings, made up $829 million in tourism dollars for this state. But this year it's under threat because of Tropical Storm Irene. Autumn has just announced its arrival in Vermont, which also marks the beginning of the state's tourist season. The spectacular turning of the leaves are world famous, attracting international visitors every year. That's followed by the ski season in winter. Ski lodges are often sold out well before the snow starts to fall. In 2009, tourists generated $829 million for the state.
I think Vermont still has that quintessential old-fashioned postcard look, and also has the same ambiance to architecture, and the people are genuinely kind.
But this year, total state income from tourism could be much lower. 1 month ago, Tropical Storm Irene tore across the northeastern seaboard of the United States, causing billions of dollars in damage. The rain rushed down Vermont's mountains, gaining speed and volume through the valleys. By the time it hit the towns, rivers and lakes below, the water was unstoppable. The floodwaters are long gone, but the recovery effort is still going on. Roads are still damaged and bridges, like the one behind me, are still impassable. But officials have launched an aggressive campaign aimed at visitors to let them know that Vermont is open for business.
We are accessible and we are welcoming our visitors, and we need our visitors to support Vermont in the tourism industry, and that goes for the ski season upcoming as well, which all the ski areas are accessible. So there's no fear that should be out there that people are going to get stuck here and we won't find them till spring. It's not true.
But it's not just the tourists who have been affected. The town of WATERBURY was one of the worst hit, with floodwaters rising quickly to levels not seen since 1927.
You know, so that's where the water gets up. You got to take all the lath off.
Skip Flanders wants to be back in his home by Christmas. The basement and first floor of his house and his neighbours were ruined by Irene when the nearby river overflowed into his street.
The river's a quarter of a mile that way,
right,
and stuff. So it didn't stay up very long, but it didn't need to either.
By November, winter will have started to set in. That's when the roads usually freeze, meaning all paving, construction and repair will have to wait until next spring. The race is on to restore the road networks and lay the foundations for both the permanent and temporary residents.
Cath, how long before the tourism season actually begins in earnest, though?
Well, it's about another 2 to 3 weeks, Shehab, and then after that, another month after that, that is when the real winter sets in. The tourists have just started to arrive, and we've had some talk to some of the locals here, and the big camper vans are starting to come through. A lot of people come to Vermont by road in their big caravans because they want to see the trees lining the streets and the valleys. So that's when most of it starts. And of course, once the snow starts to fall in around November, December, that's when they really start to pack into the ski lodges. Most of them are up and running. The governor says about 95% of the roads are passable. There are about 14 bridges still out of action that have to be replaced for those for the permanent residents, but they're all crossing their fingers that this state is going to be ready for that influx of tourists.
Cath Turner, thank you.